As someone who's navigated the traditional education path and completed an MBA while working full time, talk about making me go nuts. I do understand the value of learning, but the most profound lessons in my life have come from books. So to truly improve, one must become a ferocious reader. My journey began when I picked up one of Dan S. Kennedy's No BS books. A revelation hit me. I surpassed the teachings of my traditional education, my MBA, my higher education, whatever. The lessons I learned from there catapulted my business and my career. But reading indiscriminately isn't enough. It's essential that you read a lot. You have a lot of inputs coming in, and that can feel overwhelming, but you also need a strong filter. Charlie Munger has a strong filter, and he once said, most books I don't read past the first chapter. I'm not burdened by bad books. I'm going through this process right now, and it's a book that has got raving reviews, but man, is it boring the shit out of me. I just need to stop picking that book up and put it down and move on to the next one. So you have to have a lot of inputs, but you also have to have a strong filter to continue to move on. Now let's enter the 5-step active reading process that's going to really help you retain these core nuggets of knowledge and apply them in your life. Step 1, read with a purpose. Unless you're reading to wind down, to chill out, and maybe that's a fiction book, but each book you read should be attached to some goal, project, or core system. The book is to help you improve something in some way. It has to be attached to a higher purpose. The goal is to develop skills to make your pursuits more effective. If you lack the skills, then many obstacles will be insurmountable because your skills are the things that are going to help you overcome or achieve those goals and those objectives. Step 2, and this is a great one, and you might not always be able to do it, but buy a Kindle book and audio book together. Then you can read in different times. The combination enables you to transition seamlessly between reading and listening at different times. Sometimes reading the text is more realistic than audio and vice versa. You get to optimize your reading times if you're reading them with your eyes and listening through your ears. As you listen to the audiobook, there's this function called Whisper Sync that will follow along the Kindle book so you can quickly highlight the relevant parts. Step 3 is read during idle times, and that's where the audiobook comes in. Reading during idle times, whether it's in commutes, whether you're waiting at the doctor's or really before bedtime, if you can read during some of those idle times, you're going to be able to read so much more. Capitalize on the audiobooks while you're doing housework or chores. You can't read the text, but you can have it in your ears. You can listen actively while you're doing something that isn't requiring a lot of mental stimulation or doesn't require a lot of brain power. Step 4 is actively highlight. Actively highlighting is as you're reading, you're engaging with the text, you're maybe making notes, or if it's on the Kindle, you're highlighting the key passages that you want to retain. It's the key to improving your reading skills because the reading leads then to better retention, and retention and then execution is what matters when you're reading. When you engage with the text, you highlight the key sections, and then you employ progressive summarization. So level 1 is you're highlighting the text. Level 2 is then you go back through the text and you bold key phrases. And then level 3 is then you highlight a percentage of the things that you bold. And then you're really scaling up the things that really are attractive to you, you want to retain, and then that you want to remember. But don't highlight everything. Be very selective in what you're trying to highlight, and it should help you improve, go back to the purpose in some way. Step 5, execute your core ideas. When you're progressive summarization, when you're going back through and you're actively highlighting, you're going to have to extract some of that material, execute it in the real world. So execute your core ideas that you brought out of that book. Apply what you've learned to your goals, your projects, and your systems. In the beginning, when something is a little bit new, this is going to build disfluency. It's going to be harder and it's going to embed it into your brain even more. Reading it is one thing, but then doing it is a whole nother. And if you read, actively read, and then execute, you're building this repertoire of skills that are just being ingrained into you, and that will last you a lifetime. If you want to really learn more about how to improve your reading skills, I dropped a link in the description below that kind of details these steps out even more. If you found this video helpful, like it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I would love to hear from you in the comments. So onward and upward. I will see you in the next video.